Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining in. We will allow the others to come in slowly into the room as well. Give us another minute or two, and then we will start the session. All right. Hello and welcome everybody to Japan Online Week on this beautiful Tuesday, whether it's morning, afternoon, or maybe even still Monday evening for those of you outside of Europe. Let's get this wonderful session started. Thank you for joining us today on day one of the Japan Online Week, session 3 of this very first manga and anime event brought to you by Wacom, Clip Studio Paint, Pixiv, and S by Applibot. You are in for a presentation on the creative process of illustration by the fantastic Laia López. But before we jump into the webinar, let me share some of the basic housekeeping rules with you. So the webinar is going to last roughly for 1 hour, and we will have time for answering the questions you might have towards the end. But with so many people in the room, we probably won't be able to answer all of your questions, so do bear with us. But obviously, we will do our absolute best. For your questions, please use the Q&A function of Zoom that is basically for technical reasons. Makes it much, much easier for us to follow up on the questions and answer them on the go. For technical issues, if you experience that the screen is not working properly or you're having trouble with the audio, please use the chat box. That way we can interact immediately, and it makes it much clearer to differentiate questions that you have and technical issues on the other hand. But because we're a lot of people, please be kind and do not spam the chat too much, because it sometimes irritates when the chat box pops up in this session. This session is being recorded, and it will be available on Wacom YouTube's page next week. You will receive an email with links and additional information in the coming days, and some special offers from our sponsors. If you're new to Zoom, do check out the different viewing options that you have. In the top right corner, you will find gallery view and speaker view options. Play around with it to find the best viewing experience for yourself. You cannot break anything, it's Zoom, so just give it a go and play around. Once the screen share starts, you can adjust the slider between the screen share and the camera feeds to find the ideal positioning for your viewing pleasure. So much for this. Who are we today? The organizers of this event. Some of you might already know Wacom. We've been around for some 40-odd years. We are the pioneer of digital pen technology. And every time you need to work or create on a computer and realize that the mouse or trackpad is probably not the right tool for you to do the job, you might want to switch to a Wacom tablet. And the rest of you who already know us, thanks for joining again. It's always nice to have you around. Today's session is brought to you by Pixiv and S by Applibot. Pixiv is a social network platform for artists that focuses on communication through artworks. It was launched in September 2007, specializing in artwork, drawings, comics, and novels, publication and communication based on the concept of make creativity more enjoyable. They have now over 50 million users growing strong, and you can visit and join them on pixiv.net/en. Our other partner for this session is SSS by Applibot, and they're a group of creators that define themselves as unknown value. They are on a mission to reveal and define unexampled values to the world. The name SSS, Sign of Sense Studio, suggests they utilize our individual sensitivities and project them on the artwork they create. And then, of course, we've got Clip Studio Paint. Those of you who have been following our sessions in the past few months are probably already familiar with our growing partnership with Clip Studio Paint, and I will let Joanna do the introduction.
Thank you very much. So for those of you who are not aware of what Clip Studio Paint is, Clip Studio Paint is versatile graphic software best suited for drawing and painting to create a wide variety of content. With a wealth of unique features, it helps to create anything from illustrations over comics to concept art and even animation. No matter if professional or hobbyist, Clip Studio Paint will convince you with its natural drawing feel, along with its comics features that are also loved by more than 8 million artists around the world. And it's also one of the preferred software for users of Pixiv. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Joanna. Last two topics before we start. We want to make you aware of an amazing offer that we have for the participants of the Japan Online Week session. By using the code JAPAN15 during checkout on Wacom Europe eStore, you can claim up to 15% on the following products, including Cintiq Pro 24 and 16, the Cintiq family, and our brand new Wacom One with Lamy pen bundle, along with Intuos Pro and Intuos M with Bluetooth tablets. Take a note of the code JAPAN15 and check out the eStore after the session. As mentioned, this is only available for Wacom in Europe. We also have another exclusive offer from Clip Studio Paint, and I will once again let Joanna explain it to you.
Okay, so for select sessions, for select webinars of this event, we have a quiz at the end of the webinar, and for everyone who participates, we will have a draw, and the winner will receive a Clip Studio Paint Pro license for Windows or Mac, and we will contact the winners after the event directly. So please make sure to participate in the question at the end of the webinar. Also, we offer for the first 100 participants of a special survey, a 3-month license for Clip Studio Paint Pro for Windows on Mac. And you will find more information on that in the email that will be sent out by Wacom after the event. Okay.
All right, time to start. Today we have the wonderful Laia López with us, and she'll be talking about her creative process in illustration. So without taking any more of your time, I will let the stage to Laia. Enjoy the webinar.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Let me try share the screen because that's something. All right. Is it working? I hope it is. All right. I hope everything is working. Yes, yes, I'm trying to read the comments. Yes, it does work. Great. So, hi, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. What I'm going to do is I'll try to explain the process and the different steps that I follow when creating an illustration. And for that, I chose this drawing that I did of Blackpink, the K-pop group. I think many of you will know who they are. And they recently came with a comeback, and the concept and everything was so gorgeous, and the outfits and basically the aesthetic and all that stuff. I just fell in love with it. And I was like, I have to draw that, and why not take this opportunity to show you guys how I created it. And usually I have my keyboard like placed in here, like I don't know if you can see it from the other side. Can you? Yes, like here. But because I really want to see the whole entire screen, I'm gonna place it to the side. Okay, so let's begin. How how do I start? Okay, first of all, I already knew that the composition that I wanted to do. I had in mind this idea of like the 4 squares and the title of the song in the middle. And so I just went ahead with it, and I usually have different canvas with all the references. And like, for example, in case for Lisa's necklace, she had really complicated, and like the whole entire design has so many details. So I just looked it up separately. But yeah, I really like the promotional pictures they had. So for some of them, I used them like without changing anything. The pose like Rose and Jisoo have the same poses. And for the rest, in case for Lisa's picture, I didn't really like the pose she had for the promotional picture. So I just went ahead and looked for another one where you could see her profile. I really like her profile. Like she has a really like doll face kind of. And I really wanted to draw her like 3/4 almost profile. So yes. Basically what I did was this, as you can see, it's a sketch. And I usually, right now the line is colored. It's like black, and like you can see the lips are colored, just like the eyes as well. But I usually use like a gray color to sketch everything. So it looks like a pencil, and I feel more comfortable that way. And yeah. So basically that's a sketch, okay? I have the sketch, and oh, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but to create those lines, like the straight lines that like make the whole picture, there's like a guide rule here where you can drop it and place it wherever you are, wherever you want in the canvas. And then it appears in here in the layers as a guide. And what I did basically, wait, let me just lower the opacity so I can show you. And all right, so I have the guideline here. Then I just create a new layer. And on that layer, what I do, it doesn't let me draw, well, it does let me draw somewhere else, but it kind of like, it's a guide so you can draw straight lines. Anyway, and that's a fact. Okay, so back at it. So many people always ask me, why do I color my sketches before? Like, I usually draw the sketch and add color on top of the sketch, which I think is really helpful because I really want to see the whole thing and how the whole picture looks before it's fully finished. And this way I can see if I end up liking it, like the whole composition, if it makes sense, and if the color palette is what I'm looking for. So what I usually do, I have the sketch layer, and then I just create a new layer underneath, normal layer, and I use the normal G pen. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention what I use, which pen I use or brush I use for sketching. Let me just zoom in a little bit. As you can see, it's really sketchy, kind of looks like a pencil, and honestly, it's a 2B pencil sketch. And where can I like, I'm gonna create another layer so you can see how it works and what. It has a texture. So one good thing about it is that it has a really cool pencil effect, but a bad thing, kind of like, but I don't really mind, but it kind of forces you to go over the same line a few times or a couple of 3 times so you can get like an actual decent line without transparencies and that stuff. But I really like that texture, and honestly, it's the only pencil that I use for sketching and line art. That's the only pencil that I use. I have like a bunch of pencils, but I always end up using the same one. Okay, so back at the sketch. Okay, what I do is I did it, right? Yeah, I create a normal layer, and what I do is just start coloring. But you don't have to be like super precise, because once it's mainly to just place the colors wherever they are. Like that's gonna be the skin, then maybe the hair. You don't have to be precise or like you can go over the line because it's a sketch and it's not defined or perfect. So it's mainly so you know how everything is going to look. although in my case, I really like, for example, to have the faces of every character really well defined, because in my case, my sketches are really have a really finished look, because if my sketch doesn't look nice, then I'm not motivated enough to finish it. So it has to look okay for me, and I have to like it, and everything, like, I need to know what everything is. So later, like, I just have to make everything easier for me. Basically, that's why. And sometimes I send over sketches and they're like, is that the final thing? I'm like, no, it's not. It's just a sketch. It looks finished, but it's not really finished. You guys will see the difference later. Like, you can see, like, for example, the eyes may look finished, the lips as well, and the nose, but what is that? Like, you can see the necklace is not finished, obviously. So obviously you can't call that finished. It's still a sketch. It's a finished sketch, but not truly finished. Okay. So I always, when it comes to the upper lips of my characters, I always use the liner layer to color it. It's just a habit that I have, and it's usually a darker color than the lower lip. So I just pick the color, then.
Hi, Laia.
Yep.
Just let me chime in quickly. People are wondering about the tools and the layers that you're using. Could you put them on in the screen share?
Wait, are they not showing? They're not showing? Oh, that's weird.
Nope.
We
just have the artwork and the reference images.
Yeah, it's only showing the canvas. I see. All right, so how do I do this? Because I don't know. I'm sharing the screen, but let me see. Can I? That's weird. That's not showing the whole entire thing. Oh, wait, maybe like this? How about now?
No, still not.
Really?
Now we see your desktop.
Which?
Yes, that's it.
Now? Great.
Yes.
Wow, I thought I was showing.
Sorry about that.
No, please. I thought I was showing the whole entire thing. Now it all makes sense. Because I was showing and talking about the pens and brushes, and I was like, it doesn't make sense if I'm not showing them. Okay, that's good now.
Excellent.
Okay, so yeah, now people can see. Good. Okay, so where was I? Yes, just choosing the color palette right now and trying to see which colors work best. Now, really, I'm picking some random colors, but I'm showing you how I color everything when it comes to the sketch, and you can see it's like messy. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just so you know where everything and which color goes in each place in the drawing. So yeah, I just did listed so you can see how it is. Now I'm going to show you all of them that I did already. And that's basically what I call the base color on everyone. And sometimes I go a little bit overboard and I do some details just like their makeup or like the blush. For the blush, for example, I use a watercolor brush it's this one. I don't know how to call it. It just says watercolor brush. And I choose I really like orange tones for blush. I don't know why. It just looks nice with my color palettes. And well, let me show you how it works without. If you use it on a layer that has no color underneath, it works just fine. But wait, let me erase it. If you use it on a layer that already has color on top, underneath, you have, wait, no, not that color. You have to press a little bit harder so the color blends nicely. And it just blends almost automatically with the base. Just like that. And you just have to press a little bit and move it so you can blend it nicely. I also like to put some blush on the tip of the nose and on the shoulders. All right, and once I've got that, yeah, sometimes I really like to do the shine, like the light, wait, okay. The reflexes on the hair, which is like, this actually makes no sense, so I just do it because I like to see it, because later when I clean it up, I'm gonna not redo, but like fix it and do it differently, because if you guys can see it, for this one, for Rose's drawing, I followed the same color palette, shading, and everything, and you can see that the light on her hair goes like this. It makes this kind of shape, and I totally made it up here, but then I fixed it later on when I was cleaning it up. So this step is basically to place the colors wherever they belong. All right, so now for the background, underneath the color layer, I made another for each of them. And at first I didn't really like how it looked like this. I just felt the pink ones stood out way more than the black ones. But at the same time, I wanted to keep the black pink concept somehow. And what I did was, wait, let me show you. Obviously, you can see just squares. It's nothing else. And there it is. And what I did was create another layer on top of the background. And I picked the pink color. And for these two, what I did was just this texture brush strokes that kind of like made the character highlight. Kind of looks like a sticker, but with a pink background. And I just really like how it looked. I know I did it real quickly and it looks a little bit weird, but let me show you how. All right, and that looks better. Oh wait, let me show you how I did that as well. Okay, so that's the one that I did right now. And I'm gonna show you how to do this scratchy effect. There's this brush on the airbrushing that's called scratch tone, I think. I have it in Spanish, so I'm like trying to translate everything along the way that I'm talking. So I think it's called scratch. You can see which one it is. And just like, by just clicking a little bit, a lot of it comes out. So yeah, it's basically this. You just pick the same color as the pink one and boom. I really liked how they look. So I just kept it. And yeah, well, for the pink background, I use yellow gradient as well. Wait, no, yellow, not yellow, orange. And I use the soft airbrush. And all I did was go over it with the orange, and that's it. It doesn't have any other secrets. It was really easy. All right, so now I'm gonna have, wait, let me drink a little bit of water because I'm not used to talking for that long. Okay, much better. All right, so, okay, next step is the shading. For the shading, what I do, all right, so on top of all the layers that I've created right now, I create a layer in, did I click something? Wait, no. On multiply, new layer, and type, where is it? Okay, multiply. And then I just pick with the G pen. I use the G pen for color blocking and for shading when I'm sketching, because I really don't have to be precise or be super specific about where every line goes, because all of this is part of my sketching process. And I pick, I don't know how to call this color. Is it like a soft cream pastel pink color for the shading? And I just go on top of everything. I use a lot of layers because you never know when something might turn out wrong, or when you might want to like erase a layer or like change something. And actually on Clip Studio, you can like, I think you can create like up to 10,000 layers, and that's crazy. I've actually never used that many layers, but that's a lot of layers in case you guys like are a little bit like me and be like, this is details 1, details 2. But either way, I never name my layers, so it's a whole entire mess of layers all the time. So what I'm doing here is basically trying to follow the same shading Rose has in her promo picture. And as you can see, because it's a different layer, it just, the color multiplies on top of the other layers underneath. And for example, in this case, like sometimes with the G Pen, the lines look too sharp or too tough, and you're like, I want something softer. So what I do for the shading sometimes is I grab the blur, did I say right? The blur tool, and I just blur everything a little bit to make it softer. I don't use it on all the shading because I like the shading to have a little bit of balance of soft edges and hard edges. So I just go over it on wherever I feel looks nice. Honestly, a lot of what I do is basically intuition. For example, for color palettes and everything, I just really like working with warm colors, pinks, reds, and all that stuff. So I choose my color palettes based on that. And well, I do this, as you can see. This is the shading layer. Oh, and what I really like to do, I like to play around with color balance a lot. So sometimes I just like to see how it will look with maybe a blue shadow or like a purple shadow. I just go to tonal correction and color balance. And we have, it gives us these 3 options: shading, neutral tone, and illumination, I think. And I only touch illumination because all the other ones are like way too dark. But you can see that if you want a yellow shading, I don't know, I really like playing around with the values. And you can just choose whichever, or change it to whichever mood you want your illustration to have. But in my case, I really like this neutral, I really still don't know what color that is. Like, is it like, I don't know, but it's like a really soft pink, coral, like soft, yeah, whatever. And let me show you the whole, okay, this is what I did later for all of them. As you can see, I did the same for Lisa's cheek. I blurred her shading a little bit, same for Jenny's. And yeah, all right, next step. All right, honestly, basically, this is it when it comes to my coloring process. I always do color-based shading, and that's it. I mean, like, and the sketch is on top. Like, everything is under the sketch layer. No, wait, not everything, hold on. It's the color first, then goes the sketch, and then I put the shading on top of the sketch layer, yes. Sorry, sometimes I really get confused with my own art process because, not gonna lie, most of the time I really don't know what I'm doing. So it's just pure intuition and trying how everything works and what works best. And oh, recently I found out, well, not found out, but I realized there's a really cool type of layer called pin light. And it's this type of layer. As you can see, it gives like a purple glowy effect, but it's kind of like foggy glowy effect. I like to call it, it's like a mix of normal layer and overlay. Let me show you. With normal, it would look like this. And overlay, it would look like that. So it doesn't really stand out. And overlay is like known to give light to whatever you're doing. But for sometimes like this, when there's too much color or like dark backgrounds, overlay doesn't work. So I realized that I really like the effect the pin light has. And yeah, I really don't know what that is, but I really like this gradient that it gives to them, to their hair and everything. So I just kept it. And then sometimes I really like for some reason, I want to have my whole drawing like keep the same tone and be a little bit balanced. And right now, to me, it seems like there's too much neon colors and like, it looks cool, but for example, let me show you how it, like, can you guys see the difference? It kind of gives like a retro vibe, and like, it kind of desaturates the colors a little bit. And it's, what I do is it's basically a whole entire layer with this color. You can change the color to whichever works best for you. And it's the type of layer, it's tone layer. Sometimes I switch between tone and color, but color layer is a little bit stronger, as you can see. It just paints everything with the same color, and tone just focuses on certain parts of the drawing. And sometimes I do the same here with like the same thing that I did before with the color balance, and I just play around a little bit and see which one looks best for me, or like I like best. This is black paint we're talking about, so we're gonna go with pink. And then again, once again, you guys can see that I'm obsessed with color balance, and what I do is I create another layer because it's something that I want to apply to the whole entire drawing. Again, with illumination only. And I want the drawing to have a little bit of blue lights. So what I did is basically play around like this with the levels. I tried this one as well, which I really liked, but it was not the vibe that I was looking for. So I just kept it with the blue and maybe a little bit more cyan. I really like how the whites or like the lighter colors turn out a little bit more blue. And yes, so I kept it like this. I'm not gonna click yes because I already did it here. And that's how it's gonna look. Like, I really like the whole aesthetic and color palette that came out with the color balance. And then I had the idea of putting like the song title in the middle. So I wrote it myself. It's like super messy. The U is missing here, but just to see how it would look. And I really like the idea. What I did was just write it myself with the G pen, and then I felt like it's kind of confusing. Let me just add some sort of shading. And what I did was just duplicate the layer and place it underneath so it looks like a shade. And oh yeah, this part, I actually took a picture of this with my phone and a filter, which is this one. And I really like the filter that it has like these light streaks in here. And I was like, I want to try this. I want to try recreate this with Clip Studio. And so I tried, and I thought this looked fine. I liked it, but you will see later when I clean it up and stuff that I'm gonna change it up a little bit so it looks a little bit more dramatic. But well, we'll see later how it turns out. And then I added some glitter, which this glitter brush that I call it, glitter brush that I also use for starry skies, when I'm drawing a sky and I want to like draw the stars and I don't want to go like one by one because that would be death. There's this brush as well in here in Clip Studio. All of these brushes are like here by default. I did not download any of them, but the one that I use for line art, that one is a brush that a co-worker made for me when I was working at a studio, like illustration comic studio, like a couple years ago. And yeah, he made that brush for all of the workers there, so we could use it for everything that we had. So that's not mine, or I did not download it anywhere. But yeah, back to the glitter brush. I'm guessing it's called droplets or drops or something like that. And the bigger you make it, the smaller the particles are. And I'm gonna make a new layer so you can see how it works. It's just so pretty. I love it. Wait, okay. I have the auto saving mode thing, so sometimes the Clip Studio stops because it's like, we didn't save, let me save it for you. And I'm like, thank you. This is a really cool option as well that I really love about Clip Studio. And yeah, the smaller you make it, the smaller the particles become. And as I was saying, and I thought it looked good like this. I think I did something similar. I just focused on the title, but then later I felt like it would be cool if it were like some sort of wave. And then what I did, obviously, glow, glitter everywhere. I love adding glow, and I use the same type of layer as I explained before, the Pinlight one, the foggy, glowy layer that I just really like. And I use the soft airbrush for it. And basically add it a little bit. Although I think this is something that I did not end up doing at the end of the drawing because it didn't look good in the end. I'll see later, but I'm not sure. And that's it. I mean, that's the sketch. That's the sketch finished. And once I have that, I'm like, okay, now it's time to clean it up. And I feel like this way, everything is a lot easier for me from now on because I just have to clean up the sketch. I have all the colors set and I know how it's going to look more or less. I just have to make it pretty now. Oh wait, I just forgot something. I really wanted to talk about how I turn real people into characters with my own style, like stylized art. For example, I've already drawn Blackpink a few times before, so I could say that I kind of know which features, which facial features stand out for me in each of them. Like for example, let's go over Jenny. I think Jenny, like, she has a really round face, like kind of cute brown baby face, and same as her eye, not her eyes, her nose and her lips, like the whole entire shape, like she's just like cute baby face. But then she has these really slanted eyes and like she has this badass attitude that makes her like stand out. And I really like that. And I found this screenshot from the music video and I tried to translate it in my style. Also in my style, I usually draw the eyes way bigger than what they are. And also her hairstyle was really iconic in this comeback as well. So that made her look like Jenny as well. And for Rose, I think she has a really, this thing, like her nose is really different. And like, I don't know, for some reason to me, it looks, it's not, it doesn't stand out, but I feel like it's easy to recognize her from a drawing if you draw her nose right. And also her lip shape. I feel like the lips, like the secret for me, it's on the lips and the way you draw the nose. I don't know. And for Lisa, like I said, she has a really dull, like kind of face, and she has really big eyes, round big eyes, compared to the rest of the girls. So I tried to draw that as well. And honestly, Jisoo was the hardest for me because I feel like she's like so pretty overall, and I can't really find something that's like, oh, that makes you you. I mean, her lips, right? But it's not something that stands out unless she's smiling or something like that. And that was really hard for me, but I feel it was because it's been quite long since I drew them. And I was like, I was struggling a little bit when drawing her. Then again, me not used to talking too much, so I have to drink. You guys, drink water, hydrate yourselves. Okay, so let's go to clean up the sketch. This is a sketch that you guys have seen at the beginning, and it's just this layer that's visible. I click off all the layers, the rest of the layers, because I only want to focus on the sketch. And what I do is I lower the opacity. I create another layer on top of it. And what I do is basically trace my own sketch. I use again, I use like a gray color, so it looks like a pencil. And I'm gonna do some liner so you guys can see how I work. I usually always start with the eyes for no reason, honestly. I just really like drawing eyes. And I try to be really precise, and I try to follow my sketch lines so it doesn't lose dynamism. And I often like turn off the sketch layer so I know if I like how it's looking on the clean layer. I'm gonna draw a little bit of hair. As you can see, I don't always follow the lines. And I do a lot of erasing and doing it again and erasing again until I get the line that I want, until it looks nice. And sometimes, because as you can see, right now, the hair layer, like the hairline in here, is a little bit messy. And as you can see, Jenny has like 2 hair colors right now. So sometimes I turn on the color layer as well, so I can follow way better what I'm drawing. I think I said before that I always draw the upper lip on the sketch layer, like the liner layer. And then I just color the liner, which I think I haven't shown. I don't remember. I don't even remember what I said like 10 minutes ago. I'll show you guys how I do it. Also, I'm trying to read the comments in case like someone, like, I don't know if I'm doing everything right or if you guys have any questions or like, what is she doing right now? I'm just trying to explain as best as I can. honestly, her mouth here was a little bit messy. I remember like having a hard time because it looked way too good. Like on the sketch, I really like how it looked, but it didn't make sense at all. So it was like, I'm gonna have trouble, like a hard time when I clean that up, but I think I figured out how to do it. Yeah, it's kind of like way better. Now I don't know what I'm doing, but yeah. Someone said, because I'm trying to like look at the comments, anatomy is probably the hardest part, and honestly, I agree. But I think that's something you improve and get better at once you start drawing more. Like the more you draw people in real life and from models or pictures, the better you will get. I remember I filled a whole entire sketchbook of hand drawings and hand drawings, like drawings of actual hands. And I felt like I really got better at it because your brain ends up memorizing how everything works and how everything moves. So the key, honestly, is to practice and draw a lot until you end up memorizing and knowing by heart how everything works. And it's always good to use references as well because you forget things, and because sometimes you don't know how a position of a hand, of a leg, or whatever works. So what I always do as well is take pictures of myself doing the reference, because I can't really find references that are like what I'm looking for. Okay, so I did some line art because I don't want to like, should I keep drawing a little bit more? I'm not sure. Should I go ahead and explain everything else? Well, I'm gonna go ahead and, oh, like I said, for example, where is it? Okay, line art finished. Wow, magical, right? I wish that's how drawing works. No, I actually love doing the line art. Honestly, it's my favorite part. So this is how the line art looks finished. And I colored the whole entire thing in black. And when you turn it off, it's like, oh, cool, that it looks nice. I really like how it looks. Wait, I'm gonna put this layer at the back because it's the one that I did right now. Where is it? Did I lose it? No, here. Okay, so that's how it looks. Perfect. And as you can see, I did a little bit, I went into more detail with Liz's necklace, but not too much because I would have died probably, and I really didn't want to. But yeah. Okay, so right now, what I usually do is, wait, no, that's the good one. This is the color that I did the sketch before. And basically what I do now is just clean it up. As you can see, most of the things are already done. I just have to erase if I went outside the line. As you can see, most of the job is already done, and it just saves me a lot of time. And it's like, I don't know, I feel like I'm motivated. Like I see it, I'm like, oh, it's looking so good. I can't wait to finish it. That's how I feel. That's why I do it like this. As well, you can see that the blush here is a little bit patchy, so I just blend it a little bit better. And for example, Jenny has like a chain necklace thing. And to make it shine, I'm going to show you how I do it to make it shine and to have it glow and like glitter. I just love putting glitter everywhere. It just makes everything nice. Plus it's Blackpink we're talking about. They have glitter everywhere. Okay, so now that this seems a little bit more clean, more or less, let's pretend Wait, no, let's not pretend. I have already a layer with the whole thing. Wait, no, let me show you. Okay, so you can see that we have a gray base for the necklace. It's obviously not the same. I just realized that I completely made up hair necklace, but it's okay. What I do is I just pick a lighter color and add some shiny details. And if you look at it from afar, like if you zoom out, you can see that it looks a little bit shiny. Although later on, I'll just create another layer and I'll add some details on top of it, just to make like the cherry on top. Okay. What else? What else? For example, on Rose's necklaces, I didn't draw them with a liner because they're so tiny and thin. It just didn't make sense to me. So what I did was draw them on top of. Sorry, that's my chair that's making. It's really creepy. Yeah, so I just quit and didn't draw them with a liner because it was like too small and too little details, and I really didn't want to. So I just created a layer later that I'll show you for it. And what else? What else? What else? I think that's mostly it. Let me show you how the final color looks. Let me show you the difference. This was the sketch color. This is the final color. It looks much better. As you can see, I fixed the highlights on their hair. Now it looks way better. And you can see that I use the blur tool again. So the edges of the brush don't look that sharp. And I did the same thing with Jenny's hair because I'm not gonna lie, that looked kind of weird to me. And I was like, how do I make it look so? Honestly, it reminded me of chocolate. Like, you know that chocolate jar that's like black chocolate and white chocolate? That's what it reminded me of. And I just couldn't help it. And I was like, I need to make this look like hair. And what I did is basically the same thing. I blurred some of the edges, not everything, because if you blur everything, I feel like it loses, I don't know the word. It just doesn't look as cool, maybe. It doesn't stand out that much. So yeah, what I always do as well for the coloring is I started adding a little bit, it's not like eyeliner, but like a shading under the eyes that it gives it a little bit more depth, and it doesn't look like white and then the skin tone. I like this option. That's if the character doesn't wear any makeup, which for Jenny's case, she wears like really simple makeup, so I didn't draw anything. But for Rosé, she has a whole entire makeup look, and it was really cool. What I did was I added a base color that's red, pink, and then with the 2B pencil, I picked a darker color, and what I did was, wait, let me show you the eye makeup look. I mean, that's crazy. That's beautiful. And I tried to recreate it, but in a more simple way, because I didn't want it to look like too much. I feel like this was the perfect amount of makeup for her in the drawing. And the same for Jisoo. She had really soft pink eyeshadow, like, I don't know exactly, because her hair is in the way. So I just kind of figure out what looked better. And same for Lisa. Lisa and Jenny have the same underline under her eyes. All right, so now what I usually use to change the liner for the entire drawing. Like, for example, if I Oopsie. If Rose's, wait. Okay, all right, that's good. If Rose has like this purple hair color, what I did was pick a darker color. This is the liner layer, right? So what I did is block the pixels and color just the liner. And it doesn't matter if you color anywhere else because the layer is blocked. So you're just gonna be coloring wherever there's liner. And let me show you if I unclick, unlock the pixel thing, you're just gonna be drawing on everything. So you just gotta make sure you're blocking the liner layer. I used to do that on my drawings, but I felt like most of the time they lost intensity by doing that. So what I usually do now is just focus on the eyes, the lips, and some parts around the face, or if maybe the character is blonde and the black liner stand out too much, then I just choose a different, like maybe a color, a color that's like this. Let me see, for example, for Jenny's blonde e-girl hairstyle, I don't like this one. Maybe, yeah, something like that. But in the end, I didn't really quite like how it looked on the hair, so I think I left it with a black liner. But I did color the eyebrows as well, the nose, so it doesn't look as strong. For the lips, I choose a more red color. And for the top lip, taking this one, then I'm just gonna pick a darker shade for the top lip. And that's perfect. And sometimes I use the watercolor brush to blend this a little bit so it doesn't look too rough. That's good. And for the eyes, as you can see, I basically use the liner and draw the eye, like color the eye pure black without like any color. Because what I do is I color it using the line art. And I think, yeah, Jenny has blue eyes in this one. So I'm gonna pick a shade of blue. Wait, not that. I'm using the 2B pencil and it's like, it has too much texture, so I'm gonna, okay, this one's much better. But it's too, as you can see, I just keep trying and changing colors until I found one that works or that I like. Then I do the outline. Again, I'm still blocking the pixels layer, and that's why I'm not going over the line or outside the line. And there we go. And sometimes I usually keep it flat color, like that's it. But if I want it to have a little bit more light, I pick a lighter color and I do something like this. I zoom in and out because I need to see if it looks good from afar, because sometimes it looks like too detailed, and I feel like my art style is really simple. I mean, the coloring is really simple and I like to keep it like that. So I don't like it if it looks like too much. Yes, I like it. And basically with the same thing with all of them, and I'm gonna show you the actual line art layer. Now, as you can see, all of them have their eyes colored. I even added some highlight on their lips, like some shiny shiny stuff. Because I don't usually do it, but in this case, I really liked how it looked. And it was basically, I just chose a lighter color than the base color and did some lines like this. And once you zoom out, it looks nice. Okay, next step. Wait, let me. Okay, the square layer and the background layer. I didn't change anything from the background. I just fixed, like I painted outside of the line before, so I just fixed it. So everything is clean now. Same thing with the brush strokes, the pink brush strokes. What else, what else, what else? What is this? You know, this is what happens when you don't name your layers. You don't know what you have, and you have a bunch of layers that are like useless. But anyways, I'm sure many of you understand my struggle. Okay, okay, good. Okay, the shading, good. Basically, it's the same thing I did before, just cleaning everything a little bit. Honestly, in this case, what I do, this was the final shading layer for the sketch, and this is the final layer for the final drawing. And as you can see, it doesn't change much. I basically follow what I did in the sketch, and I just like erase in case I went outside the line or anything, just to make it look nice. Oh yes, okay, now comes the detail layer. The glitter, roses, necklaces, and strands of hair to make it look more dynamic, and I don't know, like, it looks really cool. I really like to draw extra strands of hair because I feel it makes the drawing look more dynamic. And basically I use this pen. I use two brushes, sorry. And it's this one that's called Ink Angular, and it's basically a triangle with texture. I use this one, and then sometimes the sketch one, which has texture as well. But honestly, in my opinion, I like the Ink Angular one. And honestly, it's the same thing. This was a brush that my coworker gave me when I was working at a comic studio long ago. And yeah, basically, wait, let me just, okay, I'm gonna make a new layer and show you how I do it. Oops. And the layer type is just normal, and since it's on top of everything, it's gonna cover the liner and everything you're drawing on. In this case, as you can see, it has the shade, but I'm not sure if I like it. I don't like it. But yeah, basically use this layer to draw strands of hair like this to make it look nicer. And the same thing for roses necklaces. What I do for gold details is I choose kind of like a brownish shade, a dark one. And just like, let's say it goes like this, maybe a darker one. Which one? Yeah, probably a darker tone. I'm gonna just lock this layer and yes, okay. Unblock. And then I go with a lighter one and I change the brush to a sketch one. And I just go over it. And this from afar looks like it's gold. Like, wow, it has highlights, magic. But if you look at it closely, you're like, well, it's a little bit messy, but it doesn't matter because the title is probably going to cover everything in the middle. But yeah, I think that as long as from afar looks nice, in this case, that's okay. Then what I did in this case as well with the ink angular brush was add some, oh, sorry, this glitter, same here for the necklace, this star glitter glow effect. For some reason, I keep calling it Kira Kira because of the Instagram filter, the Kira Kira effect. Okay, so as you can see, it's basically just tiny stars. But that's too much. Obviously, I'm gonna erase that, but I just did it so you guys can see how it is. As you can see, it's not perfect. It looks like messy, but again, unless you guys zoom in like way too much when I post the drawing, you won't really notice. And I think that if overall looks nice, that's good. What else did I do? Oh yeah, for Rosé's glitter makeup. What I did here, I went ahead and used again, the scratch tone brush in the white shade, like pure white basically. And I went, wait, hold on. Okay, I went, wait, that's too much, what's going on? Did I actually use this? Yes, I did. I think maybe it's too dark. Wait, should I? Wait, okay, so this brush works the same way as the droplets one. The bigger you make it, the smaller the particles are. Why does it look like this? Now I'm having one of those times where you look at a drawing you did and you're like, how did I do that? I don't remember. But I think more or less, or what you can do if it looks like too big, in my opinion, it does right now, I don't know what happened. You just use the lasso tool and select it. Then I press Ctrl T to transform it. And I make it smaller. Now that's more like it. Okay, I really don't remember what I did, but now it looks much better. And what I do is for the bigger glitter effects, I just do it manually. I think I posted a small video of me doing this on Instagram. And as you can see, for example, this part is not under any shading, but this part is. So if you're gonna use the same white shade for it, it's gonna look weird. So what we're gonna do for the other eye is use a little bit, a shade a little bit darker. Again, oh, that's too much. Damn, well. But we've got the lasso tool to make it smaller so it doesn't look like a mess. Good. But I still think it's too much, so I'm gonna block the pixels so it just colors this part. Okay. All right, maybe a little bit lighter. Yes. So that's basically what I did for Rosé's glitter makeup. And if you guys wanna like blur a little bit again, I think it will look pretty. Wait, I have to lower the intensity or else it will disappear. Wait. Okay, let me just add some more. I mean, that's, what's going on? Well, that's how it should look. Let me show you how it ended up looking. Well, I added some more extra glitter sparkle dots in here. And I also added another tiny light streak on their eyes. I think I did just for Jenny and yeah, and Rose, because I think Jesus' picture looked like too dark, so it didn't really look good. And well, the same thing I did for Lisa's necklace. As you can see, I'm gonna zoom in. It's a whole entire mess. Like none of this makes sense, and it's basically a mix of different shades of like yellow, gold type. Let me show you. It's probably, I used a darker base again and a lighter one, and then even a lighter one. So to achieve this gold look, and then the same thing for the jewels. I'm just saving time. Okay. To get that effect. And so yeah, it's basically a mix of colors. I didn't really go into much detail for this because, as I said, it's gonna be something that will be seen from afar. So I think it looks good like this. And what else? Okay, so this is the detail layer, like I explained. And then, no, wait. That's the one that I used to show you guys. Then we have the purple, foggy, glowy effect layer that I didn't really touch because I already liked how it looked. The change of tonality layer, and oh yeah, I ended up adding a new contrast layer because in my opinion, I thought they looked like, maybe it was my screen, my computer screen, but when I changed the values a little bit, it looked like too light in my opinion. So what I did was basically add a new layer, correction layer, and I think it was the tonal curves, and just play around until, yeah, it was this type of layer. And it just makes the whole thing a little bit darker, and I really liked it because now I'm going to show you how I change the streaks of light. Okay, so this is the glitter, and I did the base, the shadow, like the shadow from the title that I told you before. And oh, I really like it. I added a new layer for the title, for the song. And again, my obsession with the type of layer pin light comes back again. And it's just a really light bubblegum pink. But when you change it to thin light, it turns like hot pink. And I really like that effect. It looks like 3D kind of, and I just left it like that. And then I just added on top of everything, the color balance layer. I just add this layer, like this has to be on top of all the layers, so it applies to the entire drawing. And then, remember, this was a sketch. This is the final thing. So in the sketch, where is it? Okay, so the streaks of light that I added were on overlay, and they look nice, but I felt like something was missing, like they weren't as strong as they should be. So what I did is I changed the type of layer to overexposed shine, and it looks like this. And honestly, I love it. I love that type of layer way more than the other one. And yeah, it's overexposed shine, I believe it's called. And yeah, it looks like, I don't know, it reminds me of a diamond, and the whole difference, like the change of light and shadow on each of their faces, it looks so cool. I also really like how the light turned into pink and kind of red on Lisa's hair. And I don't know, it looks just really cool. I'm really happy how it turned out. And let me show you the difference. I think someone mentioned it from, this is the sketch and the finished one. You can see it's way more clean, and everything is just like where it belongs, and the colors just make sense. And I feel like, yeah, it's much more powerful. Although now that I'm looking at it, I actually really like my handwriting more than the actual typing, like typo of the title. But this is something I can change later, so I'm not worried about it. And well, yeah, I think that's it. I finished the drawing. I hope you guys, I hope I explained everything well and properly and everything made sense. And yeah, I don't know if, should we go ahead and answer some questions, maybe? Dun, dun, dun.
Hello.
Hello.
Wow, 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 wow.
That was fun. That was fun.
Thanks ever so much. That was really inspiring and really nice and really engaging. We have a ton of questions. So I think if we try to, even if we try just to answer a few of them, we'll be sitting here until tomorrow morning. I have skim read a few of them, and like one of the basic questions that comes up over and over again is like very simple question of what is the size of your canvas and your resolution? People keep asking that and wondering. I'm not sure if you mentioned it in the beginning.
No, I didn't. That was something that I didn't say. I usually make it at least 3,000 pixels, but then I always end up making it bigger. Like, for example, the final one is, wait, is it the same size? I'm not sure. No, as you can see, the sketch is like 2,000 times 3,000 something. And the final one is 3,000 and 5,000. So I always end up making it bigger in case I have to make prints or like merchandising or anything. So I want everything to have a lot of resolution, and then it's always 300 dpi.
Okay, makes sense. Keeps the flexibility.
Yes.
Yeah. The other bunch of question that pops up regularly is a question about time. So what is the average time you allow yourself for something like line art and the full picture? And related to that question is the question, when do you know that the piece is finished? When do you stop working on it?
Okay, I'm actually really bad at calculating time, the time that I spend working on something. But for example, for this sketch, I usually spend maybe, it takes me way too long. Like it takes me longer to look for references and to get the sketch, line art sketch right. But overall, it takes me probably like a couple of hours to finish everything like you see on the left one. And for the final drawing, probably around 8 hours. I just know that each day I probably draw for like 3-4 hours, and this one took me 2 days. So I'm guessing 8 hours or something. But it, like, I used to spend like an entire day to finish one drawing like this, but the better that I've gotten in like through the years, I realized that I've gotten slower. Maybe not slower, but I really take my time to make everything right now and to correct those mistakes. So it takes me longer because of that. So yeah, probably this one specifically probably took me 2 days, but like that's like 8 hours.
Okay.
I think.
And you're going back to your pieces once you've decided it's finished?
Oh,
no.
I don't touch it.
Okay.
I decided it's finished once. Like right now, I'm like, that's it. I'm not gonna touch it again. I did the whole details layer and the lighting layer, and I'm like, that's how it's gonna be forever. And I haven't ever touched them again. Unless I wanna do something like draw it again, then I just draw something completely new based from something that I did in the past.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Then we have quite a few participants who are new and they're trying to find their way around in the industry and then in the art scene. And they were basically asking, like, do you have any tips or advice how they can get into the industry?
Well, I've been really lucky, and all of the jobs that I've got until now, which have been in the publishing industry, I did illustrations for children's books and teenager books, and they found me through my social media. Honestly, I've always been really active, but I never really. One day, it's not like I woke up one day and be like, okay, I'm gonna focus on expanding my social media, and like I didn't really prepare it. I've been on the internet for so long. Before posting my art, I was on Tumblr and I did edits of GIFs and all that stuff. I'm always really active on different fandoms, and I really like check out what new things people are talking about or what new series or animes people like. And I think I don't know where I'm going with this. Basically, I know that a lot of my editors and people who hire me go through social media and find other artists to work with. And at conventions as well, they like go walk through the artist alley and like look at artists and see if there's someone whose style is something they're looking for a future project. And so I think it's really cool that way, because I really recommend people to go to conventions and try to like have a stand with their work or like prints or something like that. But yeah, I feel like I'm not helping much with this. I didn't really have to send my portfolio to anyone because like I said, I was really lucky up until now. They've been contacting me to do jobs. Yeah.
But it's based on your artwork, so it always helps to have a portfolio to continuously improve, develop your style.
Yeah, I feel like you should draw whatever you like, the things you enjoy. It's good to draw things for other people, or like if something is popular at the moment, of course that will make you like maybe get more followers at the time. But I think it's important to enjoy what you're doing, because that later it's like it's shown on your art, and people can notice that you really enjoy doing that or whatever. And yes, that's it.
Yeah, it sort of oozes of the artwork if somebody's like really dedicated to it. Yeah. Another interesting question that came up in the Q&A was, it's maybe not even easy to answer, but how does it feel for a non-Japanese manga artist to be in this manga-related art field? Is there anything where you have an opinion about, or does that even cross your mind, or I experience the manga community as being super international and very global. So I was wondering how that feels for you.
Well, I didn't really think about it now that you mention it. I don't really see my art style as manga, like 100%. It definitely has some influences, because I love manga, I love anime, and I've grown up my entire life watching anime and reading manga. So I feel like that influenced my art style in a way, just like Disney movies. Whenever someone asks me, what do we call my art style? I think it's a mix of anime or like manga style and maybe Disney a little bit, but because that's the things that I like and that I look up to and that I want to like become, like not that I want to become like a manga artist, but like I really like this style. But yeah, I mean, I feel really honored to be part of this, honestly.
Yeah, I think as usual and as always, when it comes to art and creativity, it really boils down to find your own style and your own take and view on things, and that is definitely something that that jumps to your face when you see your artwork. It's really cool. Right. Let me check. I think we have to call it a day, unfortunately. Unless you've got something that you go like, man, that's something I have forgotten or really want to bring to the service again or something.
Not really. I mean, I just want to thank everyone who came to the webinar and who had the patience with me, because it was the first time that I did something like this. So I was really nervous, and I just hope that everything that I explained made sense. And I honestly hope I can do it again. I actually really liked it. And yeah, basically, thank you all so much.
Well, thank you for making yourself available, for joining, and for dedicating your time to it. It was very, very enjoyable. It was really enjoyable. So thank you very, very much for being part of this. And yes, I think looking at the feedback that we're receiving to this particular session, but all the others as well, I think this was not the last time that we will see each other in a similar setting or elsewhere.
Oh, I really hope so.
Okay, before we all log off, let me quickly share my screen again. Laia, can you stop sharing your screen for a second?
Did I stop sharing it?
It's good. Right. So, hang on. Let's get this onto the right page. Alrighty. Exactly. So before we go away, remember Joanna mentioned a quiz at the beginning. So Joanna, maybe you want to take it up from here again.
Yes, so we have one quiz question, and for everyone who's paid attention, will know the answer for sure. So there will be a pop-up panel with a question that all attendees should be able to see. And the question is, how many layers can you create in Clip Studio Paint? And Laia has very smoothly answered that question. So I hope you all paid attention and you have a moment of time to choose your answer. We'll just wait for that for a little bit, and
let's see how it goes. The panel is up.
yes, I think everyone's seeing it now.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of answer seeking in the chat, I can see.
They don't count.
No, we're not giving it away, but the winner will be chosen at random out of all the participants who get the answer right, and then they will be contacted roughly next week directly by email. So they will get their license for Clip Studio Paint Pro.
Wonderful. It's actually a very nice prize. Okay, how are we doing on the polls? Do we have a 90% share in all panelists?
Pretty much, we're on 86% right now.
Come on, just a few more votes.
87, come on, 3% more. We can do it.
Okay, Honor, show us the results.
Okay. 89%, 1% short of it.
Aww.
Oh,
Here are the results.
Ooh. Very good. That is a 64% pass rate.
Wow.
Yay.
Good. So that's pretty good. Yeah.
Nice. I knew it was a big number, but that is quite a lot of layers. Excellent.
Okay, thank you everyone for participating.
Yes, and also thank you from us to everybody who participated today. Thank you, Laia, for hosting this wonderful and inspiring presentation today. Before we go, do follow us on social media, and don't forget to follow our presenter Laia on Twitter. It's Lopez. Check out our social media handles for @Wacom and @ClipStudio Official, Pixiv_EN, and SSS by Applibot on Twitter as well, for more information on the products and the artists and the involvement in the Japan Online Week. Right, visit our webpage for more sessions to come. Otherwise, that will be it from us for this session. Again, thank you everybody for joining. We hope you enjoyed the session and the first day of Japan Online Week, and we really hope that you will join us again tomorrow for the next session at, I think, 11 o'clock European time. So take care, thanks a bunch, and goodbye.